ドキドキ doing メロメロさ君の涙で恋にワンアップ Yes yes gonna love you yeah Yes yes gonna want you yeah もう泣くなよ baby おいらがついてるぜクラクラクラ doing
Okay, welcome to the Sonic Board podcast. It is February 8th, 2013, and Kenny's already laughing. This is our pre-Valentine's Day podcast, if you're keeping track at home. I don't know why Mule insisted we have a Valentine's Day podcast.
It's time to be lonely. Like me.
Because only one person in this group has a girlfriend, and he's not even in the chat, so...
Actually, two.
Who has a girlfriend?
Frank and DL.
Oh, fuck! Yeah, I forgot about that. I hope he doesn't listen to this now.
How the fuck? How do you forget about that?
I don't know. Well, it's because he's never on Skype anymore, so, like, it almost feels like he's not a part of the group anymore.
Wait, wasn't his girlfriend on with him, like, the last time he was
Yes,
on?
at one time. Anyways, we're off topic.
Thanks for
I totally have a girlfriend, guys. Here she is.
Okay, those people you heard talking are part of the podcast, too. I'm the host, DeoxysPrime, if you
Apparently.
haven't caught on by now. And we have a slightly abbreviated cast here, because two people didn't show up. I won't make
Thanks.
names.
Fuckers.
No, I'm happy you guys have made it, because you're
Well,
usually around.
Yeah.
So we have Kenny with us. Say hi, Kenny.
Yo.
We have Mule.
Hey.
And we have our semi-regular but always awesome member, Shellblade.
Oh, yeah.
It's a privilege to have him on here. Like, seriously. I'm not
He's
really
pretty
happy.
good at showing up. Usually whenever I ask, he's here.
Yeah, no shit. But, before we start, you know what it's time to do?
What is it time for, Kenny?
It's time to take a shot!
The only one who's drinking.
In honor of the return of Put It in Your Mouth.
Awesome segue.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, put it in your mouth. Kenny, you want to take it?
No, not
That's
really.
your area of expertise, isn't it?
Is it my area of expertise?
Well, you're the one who introduced it.
Kenny, do you
us.
want to put it in your mouth?
It's the only because I was like obsessed with like learning those Japanese lessons, and I just happened to stumble upon his cooking show, and it was fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to ask how you found it, but I guess that makes sense.
It does make
For
sense.
people who have no idea what the hell we're talking about, it's like a YouTube show with Jeremy Thorne called "Put It in Your Mouth."
You should probably link to it in the podcast.
Yeah, you
I-
should put it in the
I
link.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you've never seen the Shellblade?
Well, no.
Can you give Shellblade and our audience like an overview of what the show is?
Jesus Christ.
Just say
Basically,
Give a synopsis
it's
1 minute or less.
basically it's three guys that were in. It was filmed. It was filmed a few years ago, like 2007 or some shit. But anyway, it's three guys in Japan in this apartment. They're all American, and they just cook food and basically do
Get
what
drunk.
I do and drink all the fucking time. And they puke on the show. They shit their pants, and.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
I'm not exaggerating. One of them literally shits his pants on the show, and they just swear all the time, and it's fucking amazing. It's great. Fund them now.
Yeah, like he's bringing the show back. I guess he did a Kickstarter and he got enough money to do the show.
He has like 30. He has 3,500 right
Yeah, so that was pretty impressive. He got that in a day too.
now. Mm-hmm.
So that's good to hear because like there was only like what 10 episodes or so, 12.
12.
Yeah, but I mean, like Kenny was the one who introduced us to that, and it was actually pretty entertaining. We would watch it on Skype together and stuff like that. So I'm pretty happy like he's bringing it back because he hasn't done much of anything in a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's been busy with real life. I wouldn't know what
He
that.
couldn't make videos because like he couldn't let his reputation go to shit because of the people he's working for. Because
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, that's why he was like he had too many people like like looking at him. I guess like he couldn't make any videos like anything repulsive like that, or else no one would hire him or they'd get rid of him. Because it seems like a lot of businesses these days like look on Facebook for things just to
Oh,
like
definitely.
So it was that sort of thing that's why he didn't make any videos. That's why he was on the down low.
Yeah.
in the video release.
Oh, so that's what he meant by that. Okay.
Yes, it is. Anyway.
Yes, but why would I want to support such lowbrow humor?
That's a good question, Stewie.
Was that Stu?
That was not Stewie. That was just
It
I
wasn't.
thought you were doing an impression of him. I don't know.
No,
just
that was
kidding.
way too deep to be.
I was sitting
that
here-
was just generic.
wondering who the hell that was supposed to
It
be.
sounded like some flamboyant, like
No, that really wasn't supposed to be anybody.
homosexual thing.
Uh-uh.
It was just Shellblade sitting in his armchair with his monocle, sipping brandy.
No, but anyway, if you want to support this man, not Shellblade. No one wants to. But no, I'm just kidding. Jeremy Thorne put in your mouth like he like only asked for like $1, like to like fund his project for the second season of Put in Your Mouth, and like $10 gets you like your name in the credits. $200 gets you a Skype call while they film their show with them for an entire episode. And if you're really ambitious, $1,000 could get you on the show out in Los Angeles. So, yeah, do it.
Now, tell me how nervous you would be if you were actually on a Skype call with them.
Probably pretty fucking nervous, but you know, got my bourbon.
I'm glad
I'm
it's
sure.
taking
I'm sure I'd loosen up after a while.
See, I'd be very glad that it's an eating show because there would be spaghetti everywhere.
I was not expecting that.
And this is what Shellblade is here.
This is why Shellblade is here.
Thank God Shellblade is here. That's what we wanted.
Speaking of spaghetti, we all recently watched that Sonic fan film.
Segway.
Damn it.
You watched it, right, Shellblade?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Wait. Spaghetti with I don't get that.
Never mind, Kenny.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, because we had all watched it on Skype, so I had known if you had watched it. I assumed so because I posted the thread about it. But,
That was it was something.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy it. Like, I mean, I recognize that it's not very good.
That's awful.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how you would even go about making a quote unquote good live action Sonic film.
Well, first you start off by getting people who can actually act.
Hey, budget for what it was worth.
I honestly have no idea why it took so long to make this.
Yeah, because it was only 20 minutes.
Yeah. What was he doing the whole time? Was he like the guy making the animated film and got his panties in a wad every time somebody complained?
That's true. Like, I was under the impression it was going to be like the length of that shitty fucking Mega Man film.
How long was that?
That was an hour and a half.
Nice.
Hour and a half.
I mean, that was a full
Yeah,
movie.
like literally when it came out, I was like, oh sweet, it's out. Let's all watch it together. And Steve's like, yeah, it's only 20 minutes. I'm like, what?
Well,
and
I
then-
mean, I think he'd be happy because can you imagine like stretching that into an hour and a half?
I can't imagine that. But like, you know, what do you got? You got the nostalgia critic. You got Ben Kingsley in it. You got
like if there was ever a real Sonic movie, it'd definitely be Ben Kingsley playing him, but he wasn't in this movie.
no.
I mean, Ben Kingsley will do just about anything, so I mean,
But-
I wouldn't be surprised.
You have to admit, it was pretty fucking awesome how they got Jaleel White to play Sonic.
Yeah.
And he stuck with the character too, which is for whatever he did in the movie, I guess, or whatever he said. It seemed like the good old days, I guess.
Yeah.
I've personally never really been a fan of nasally Sonic, but I mean, it is neat that they got Jaleel White to do that.
Yeah.
And we
That's the
only... Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're all right.
The
Go.
only one
Alright.
better would be
Alright.
Ryan Drummond, am I right?
Oh, God. No, because Ryan Drummond's also nasally, and so is Jason Griffith. It's only this new guy. What's his name? Christopher something?
But this guy
Roger
just
Craig
looks-
Smith. Never mind.
I don't like his voice of Sonic.
When did-
You don't like
when-
him?
No, it just
When did
it feels
he-
like he's trying too hard and just comes off as fake.
When did he start like doing the voice of Sonic?
Sonic Colors, I think.
It's Sonic
Oh, really?
Colors.
So I'm not familiar.
Actually,
well, no.
he started with Sonic Free.
He was in
Ride.
Generations too.
Yeah, so he's in Generations. Yeah, I was
So it's
gonna
been a
say.
couple years.
I liked him in Generations. Of course, Generations didn't have a lot of speaking parts.
Lot of
He
anything
did sound a
everything.
little forced in colors. Can we at least agree that the current Tails voice actress is the best one?
There's not really much competition there, Shellblade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but still,
I mean, first
she's
off,
really,
you had
she's actually really good. I think she does the Tails voice really well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind.
I mean, Tails had like the most inconsistent like variety of voices ever.
Now
Well,
he
they
doesn't.
kept trying to use like little kids.
Well, yeah, like
Did they?
his first
So they
two.
finally got smart and started using like women to do it. No
Yeah.
offense.
That's the way you're supposed to.
Like that's how you get like the perfect like little kid's voice. You keep using it, rather than have to recast it like every fucking couple years.
That's
Yeah.
what they do in my Japanese animes.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what they do in almost every cartoon. They
I know.
except for Hey Arnold, because they had like little boys voice Arnold, and they went
And-
like 4 different voice actors for Arnold.
And they do it for Gumball.
Who the hell's Gumball?
The Amazing World of Gumball. It's a cute show. Not really much of a standout, but it's a cute show.
It
We'll take your word for
it's-
it.
It sounds familiar, but
I've never heard of it.
Nor I.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
But what is Roger Craig Smith?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
his name.
Does he also voice the new Shadow? Or
No,
is that someone
No.
else?
I don't think so.
Is that
Because whoever
Vic
does
Mignogna?
Shadow now is fucking terrible.
Is Vic Mignogna the new Omega, or is he the new Shadow?
He's the new Omega.
Okay.
Is he
You're
really?
fucking shitting me. You're
He's good.
shitting
He's
me.
good.
What game has he voiced Omega in?
Sonic Colors on the DS.
Yeah.
Oh,
But he was good. He sounded fine. They
I
didn't
wish
make
DL
him
were
sound
here because he'd fucking
so
go on a
robotic.
rant over that guy.
Vic Mignogna.
apparently
Yeah.
he's a big dick or something.
He's a fucking pervert,
Oh man,
apparently.
no, the guy is so cracked out.
Like
So
I've never met him,
strange.
but like DL was telling me like he gets banned
Huh.
from anime conventions.
Yeah, he does. And I wish DL was here to talk about it.
So apparently, Shadow's currently voiced by Kirk Thornton, who
Who the
apparently he voiced Gabumon in Digimon.
but I think I
Oh.
need to slow down because I thought
well, Gabumon sucked in Digimon.
Yeah.
It's a weird voice.
He
Yeah.
always had this weird voice. This is what he sounded like, right?
Yes. That is perfect.
what?
You wouldn't get it, Kenny.
Okay.
It feels like Kenny was like in a coma in like the late 90s. Just missed everything.
What, Kenny? What kind of things were you like into at that time period?
Why are we
I'm
dropping the-
curious because you don't like kind of relate to anything we liked at that time, so I'm just curious of what you liked at that time.
It was like Sonic.
Which is Sonic.
Yeah. I swear to God, I was so fucking obsessed. It was ridiculous. But other than that, like, I don't know, like,
Well,
I wasn't like. Is there any specific thing you want to like?
No, I was just curious.
It's
Can
kind
I
of
tell-
vague. Like seriously, like I spent a lot of my time like outdoors. Like it was like outside. Like I never really played. Like I like playing like my Genesis, but like I was outside a lot.
That sounds like some bullshit if I ever heard it.
Kenny,
Outside?
tell the
Outside.
audience your life story.
What is
I
I
outside?
don't think we have enough time for that.
No, we don't have enough time for that, and I would
No,
not
we're-
tell you.
It's a pretty short story.
So you want me to tell the story about like how like we were out causing mischief one time when I was like a sophomore or junior in high school, and like we were like doing shit like late at night, like not knicker knocking, but like lighting off fireworks and shit. And one of my friends thought one of my like what teenagers do, and one of my friends decided he thought it'd be funny if he took a dump in the bed of this pickup truck, and I lit these like firecrackers I had in my pocket and threw them in the bed of the truck while he was dropping trow. He jumped out, and we ran into the woods that were next to this house, and they were going off and everything. And he walks up to me and he just goes, in the most sarcastic way possible, "You are a good friend. And then just walks away from it.
Well, like, this one story sums up your whole life, apparently, according to Mule.
It's so sad. My entire, like, high school life or school life involves fireworks and people shitting on things. It's so sad. It's so bad.
You can just use this as a metaphor for your entire life.
No, not really. But yeah, seriously, that actually did happen. And
Read a book.
yeah, take a look. It's in a book reading fucking Rainbow.
That's going to be the highlight of Kenny's eventual autobiography.
Oh, yeah, that's how I'm going to end my autobiography.
Yeah. Well,
Of course, you know what Mule would do?
but
He would write a biography about me. He doesn't know shit. He just knows bits and
he
pieces.
probably knows more about...
But he would fabricate it
himself.
so well that everyone would believe it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that would happen. Anyway, let's go on.
I was going to say, like, speaking of Sonic, because we were just talking about the fan film, there have been some rumors going around about a new Sonic game. You guys must be pretty excited for that, right?
Oh,
Sonic,
Yeah.
Sonic the
Yeah.
Hedgehog 2 for the Genesis?
What?
Yeah. The next game, Sonic 2, you know.
Gonna
Like
crack
this.
that Eggman wide open. Yeah!
they're introducing a new character.
Oh shit, my
Jeez.
bourbon.
He's a fox boy.
Oh, I get it now. You're referencing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Genesis.
Yes, that would be a game that existed once.
No,
That's right.
I'm referencing Sonic Adventure 3.
Uh-huh, yes.
Oh,
See.
Soulcon.
You see, because people are inferring that the new game is going to be Sonic Adventure 3, like every other Sonic game for the past 10 years.
It's
Well-
pretty sad.
Sonic Unleashed was called Sonic World Adventure in Japan. So there's an adventure game right there. Were the
Yeah.
adventure games called Adventure in Japan?
Yeah, I think so.
So I guess, do you count that as an adventure game, or did they just fuck up
Oh.
the titling?
No, it wasn't really. Like, you couldn't even argue it, because it has very little in common with the adventure games.
It does have overworld stuff, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it has some of the things, but, like, if you're talking, like, a game that most resembles Sonic Adventure 3, it's Sonic 06. That's the only one you could really make an argument for. But
Yeah.
they obviously didn't treat it as Sonic Adventure 3.
Speaking of Sonic 06,
Yeah, they
I have-
treated it like a abused housewife.
I 100%ed it. Yay.
Really?
Yeah, I got all the achievements.
I
It's
don't
that-
even know how.
It's Mule. That's all you
No,
need to
I
say.
know, but...
It's pretty easy.
It's no.
That's a typical Mule response.
It's pretty easy. That's what he said with like fucking Halo 4 Legendary. It's pretty easy, Nors. I get to this part, I'm like, this
Mule,
is fucking
what
hard.
what game is hard to you?
Melee.
No, I mean, like, not in terms of mastering it. I mean in terms of, like, actually beating it.
Is this a sexual question?
Let's see.
But I understand how it can be inferred that way.
Have you
I
ever played
think-
Oh,
I think Devil May Cry 3 and like Dante Must Die is pretty hard.
oh.
Can't beat that.
Wait.
Have you played the new DMC Mule?
No, I'm not going to.
I doubted that you were. Aren't there
It looks
only
like-
about? I think there are only about 5 bosses in the whole thing.
Yeah, none of them look any good.
Well, they're all those big lumbering bosses. They're all big,
Yeah.
except for the final boss, which is Virgil, and he only has like 3 attacks. But all
It's
the other
like-
ones are these big lumbering bosses where you can always see exactly what they're about to do. And
Let's
dodge
just
it.
ruin one of the best parts of DMC.
I guess they were surprised when it didn't sell.
It really has nothing to do with that franchise, because I don't believe Devil May Cry is even name dropped in it.
Wow.
And so, I mean, the tone is completely different from the previous franchise. It's just the characters' names. That's it. And then they have like some like the like devil angel crap. But even then,
Just so Dante's a special snowflake.
yeah. Well, no, it's more like they had two different weapons they wanted you to use for like certain enemy types. Like, oh, you can only be this enemy type with a devil weapon and this enemy type with an angel
Goes
weapon.
against how it works. Like,
And then
Devil May
and
Cry
then
is
they
all
said-
about experimenting, and yet that allows
Yeah.
none of it.
that
Well,
was disappointing.
Yeah. At least Rising's come out in like a week.
oh,
I
God.
played the demo for Rising, and every time I went into Blade mode, I would somehow change my angle, and I would be facing in the wrong direction. Maybe I'm just bad at it because I'm bad at video games in general, and I was, hopping around as Raiden like an epileptic mongoloid or something. But I mean, I
I
got my ass
downloaded the
kicked by
demo.
those cow mechs.
Like I downloaded the demo, but I haven't played it yet. So
It's good.
I can see where Colin's coming from, but it's just like, I don't know.
Kenny just doesn't really like those kinds of games, so...
Like the hack and slash thing, I kind of like the fact that you can like do the things you can do, but like I'm just not into it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
they're definitely not for everyone. Like they don't really do much for me, but I would never say like if something's bad if it's.
Well, I'm definitely not.
example of that game.
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely not saying it's shit. It's just like
It's just not your thing.
I don't know. Plus, I really can't afford to buy games that often anymore. So
Well, yeah, except for the fact that you have a job now.
a job, but I'm using all that money for flying fucking airplanes. Whatever. Just... All right. What's next, Steve?
Okay,
Well-
well, we got a couple of big system announcements coming up pretty soon.
Oh dear.
We got for sure. Well, no one knows for sure, but there's a big Sony announcement coming on the 20th of this month, and
PlayStation 4.
everyone expects to announce the PlayStation 4, and I'm seriously hoping they don't, just to troll everyone. But it's coming. Like there's been so much leaked about the new systems already that there's going to be an announcement soon. So, I have no interest in it because I don't buy Sony systems, but
I don't buy Sony.
I don't buy Sony systems, but I know you guys do. So,
Yeah,
what do you actually want out of this system? Like most
games.
That's
I'll just start
perfect.
there for you.
That's fucking perfect. Damn.
Okay. What I want is that I want it to be released before Microsoft system, but I doubt it will be, because I feel like Microsoft is gunning for this year or early next year.
Sony is too, actually.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Like,
Well, I'm
there was-
hoping.
There was a report that they're planning to release it, PlayStation 4 in Japan, this year for like equivalent to $400.
Mhm.
That was the
Alright.
newest rumor.
Okay. Well, I'm
600.
I'm really hoping they can corner their market before Microsoft does, because Microsoft, its presence in the gaming industry has been defined as right place, right time. Like they come
Yeah.
in right as Sega is going out the door, and then they get the Xbox 360 out before 2 years before any other, or 1 year, a whole year before any other console for the 7th generation is released.
You know
So
what,
that's-
Shellblade? It's funny
Yeah.
you mentioned that, because there was a story that came out, I think yesterday, where someone who worked for Microsoft back when they were developing the original Xbox said basically the entire reason they released it was just to like stop Sony, like to prevent them from getting like a massive stranglehold on like people's living rooms and stuff.
And then that entire gen was Sony.
Yeah, and like even Microsoft had preliminary discussions to acquire Sega because they thought it would help them like get that edge, but then they determined that they really wouldn't have any advantage in acquiring Sega, so it didn't progress much further than that.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're basically right. They've definitely capitalized it, but I would say like at least with the 360, like the first Xbox was like just something they did just to get a foothold in the industry. It wasn't much of a system.
The funniest thing is that the original Xbox had the more interesting lineup of exclusives.
Yeah, well, they definitely did a good job of getting exclusives, but it was more like just to get in the industry so they can release what they wanted to, I guess, with the 360.
Mm-hmm. The best part about the 360 was its controller.
Yeah.
That is the best part, because you got to pay for the online, and I think what many people think is that they had superior versions of multi-plat games. Is that what the general consensus is?
In most cases, yes.
Yeah, because like the PS3 had like an issue similar to the Saturn where like no one could program for it
Yeah,
properly.
PS3 had the more difficult architecture to develop games for, and like because the 360 came out first, developers started making games for that first, so it started selling better on that system. So developers would put all the resources into making the 360 version first, and then port it to the PS3, and not spend as much time on it. So usually the PS3 versions wouldn't turn out as well, but depending on who gets to market first, I guess, that could completely change next generation.
Right. Even though it sold about as well as a 19-year-old deaf dachshund in Japan.
The fuck? What?
Go on, Kenny.
Confuzzled. Whatever. I'd like to know, like, it's been taught to death, but like the fact that you always hear it, but the argument is like PS3, like not like people that have like grown up around Sony and everything, like just like are in love with the PlayStation and really don't know much about the 360 or like Xbox or in general, have never owned one. How do you like? What's your opinion on like? Oh, I don't have to pay for my online service, but with like the Xbox 360 or like Xbox Live, you have to pay $60 a year. Like, what's your feeling on that?
Negative?
Yeah.
Like seriously, it's just like
I would much rather pay for not online.
Like at the start of the generation, like I've never run a PS3, but I mean this is what most people said. Like PlayStation's online service was crap.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
So that was the argument. Like it was worth, I guess, in comparison, paying for 360 at the time. Yeah. But I guess Sony's got their act together more.
Like even now,
they introduced that PlayStation Plus.
Now. Yeah, that's the big thing now. I guess.
So
even
that
now,
that all gives you benefits and free downloads or like you get a percentage off or money off of like any online download. So.
And I don't expect that to change either because Microsoft is basically getting free money out of that. People are paying for it, so they have no reason not to, make it free. Yeah. And that's a huge part of their business too. So that's unfortunately probably not going to change.
Yeah, that's really upsetting. Is that they do it because they can. Yeah. Because they know you'll pay for it.
Well, the other big news that is upsetting people is the rumor that the new Xbox won't allow you to play used games.
Yeah.
When you get the system, you're required to, one, connect to the internet and stay connected, and two, even if you buy a retail game, like a disc, you have to enter an activation code to use it, and then it can never be used on any other system. So that's got people really bent out of shape, and I can kind of understand. Like, it's not the biggest issue for me, but like I like buying physical games.
It'll kill any hope of going back and buying games like for the console that you like missed out in the first time round.
Oh yeah,
it's going to destroy GameStop.
Well, they want. I think definitely they want to push more people buying games online because it's better for them if you do because they get more of a cut. Like if you buy a $60 game online, they get a bigger cut than if you buy a $60 game in the store. Mm-hmm. So that's what they want people to do. But I don't even really know if the infrastructure online for the U.S. is at that point yet, where you can like require people to go online, everyone who buys the system.
I mean, it really isn't at that point, and that's why they kind of have to keep using physical distribution.
Exactly, I don't think that's true.
I hope it's not. Like
you think how many people actually have Xbox Live accounts? Is there like a census?
Like I'm sure they have numbers. I haven't really read anything, but I'm sure there are still plenty of people out there like who never connected their 360.
Exactly. You're gonna like fucking destroy that.
Especially
that
because
support.
it doesn't. The 360 doesn't have Wi-Fi, so you have unless you buy like $100 dongle, you gotta like physically wire it, which isn't always easy.
Well, I don't think the that'll be really an issue with the next one since
no,
it'll
better
have
be.
Wi-Fi.
It better have Wi-Fi.
I mean, the PS3 had Wi-Fi, and that was 6 years ago. So.
Sort of the Wii, so there's really no excuse. But yeah, like if it, like I know a lot of people have said like straight out, if the next Xbox or even the PS3 has, basically prevents you from playing used games, they're gonna flat out not buy it. So would any of you guys like consider not buying it if that was the case, or does that not really?
I would definitely consider it, but like at the end of the day, all that matters really is the games. So that's really basically it.
Yeah. I like the idea of encourage because GameStop has a monopoly on selling games right now.
They get Boardwalk
they get it
and
a lot.
Park Place.
They get it a lot from their used game profits, and they want to encourage buying games at full price new, and that's going to help. That would help developers a lot more because think about a lot of the games that would have helped out developers, financially if people had just bothered to buy them new instead of used. But at the same time, games are really freaking expensive.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy games new. I want to buy them used.
Yeah.
There's too much of an appeal of buying a game cheap.
It's funny because I rarely buy used games. I almost always buy new. I don't buy a ton of games, but I almost always buy them new because I generally like to support developers if they make a game I want to play. But like I just in principle, I hate that practice because it's really the only industry that goes after people who buy a used version of the product. Mm-hmm. With almost any other thing you can buy, like cars or books or movies and stuff, there's no real effort to eliminate used sales.
That's because with games, it's like you have your first 2.5 weeks of your game being out, and if it doesn't do well then, it's not going to do well ever.
Yeah, well, that is part of the problem with the industry, too.
Well, I'm in the same boat as Steve. I always buy used. I always buy new games. I rarely buy used, and if I do, it's just something that just like I had in the past that just like I'm like, oh shit, I kind of want to play that again.
Part of the reason I don't even buy used because I don't like supporting GameStop. So
yeah, that's true too.
Sell used games, at least around.
I don't know why I think that because I'm like I could just go on Amazon and buy it. Like seriously, it's for cheaper. But then again, you don't know what condition the game's going to be in. Because when you go to GameStop, you can at least look at the disc, but GameStop sucks balls.
If you buy new games at GameStop, it can be a used game.
That's true. That's why you don't buy new games at GameStop.
That's why you just don't go to GameStop
there. Oh, God. But, I mean, it's fucking retarded. Like, everyone's just trying to monopolize over everything. It's stupid shit.
Well, it's because, like, there was even Sony had patented their own technology to prevent used games being played. Now, it's not, no one knows if they're actually going to implement it in the PlayStation 4, but...
It's like that, what the hell was that? That stupid, what'd they call it for Battlefield? Like, you needed a fucking authorization code or some shit to, like, play it. Or was that just online? I think that was just online, actually. I don't know. Fuck it. Forget what I was saying. I don't know what
I was just saying, if both consoles do that, like, a lot of people are going to be really pissed. Or just have to swallow their pride and buy it anyways.
I don't think Sony can really survive by doing that. It's like they're in a terrible position as it is, and they don't need any more backlash.
That would give them a huge advantage if they didn't do that and Microsoft did.
Mm-hmm. Are there still Move games being made?
I think so.
Wow.
I don't know if they're going to incorporate it into their next system. Like, the big rumor is that they're going to have, like, a controller with a touchscreen similar to the Wii U.
That'd be classic Sony.
It would be. But
Just copy everyone else's design.
I'd actually
Bitch.
support them doing that because I really like the fact that the Wii U controller is like...
Honestly, it is a smart idea.
That's definitely capitalizing on something that's going to be more than just a fad in terms of tablets.
Whereas Microsoft is actually like pushing harder with the Kinect. Like,
Yeah.
Which is really stupid.
the report also said like the new Xbox will come with an improved Kinect, so they're still pushing that. What was the
Because
other
they
room?
made so many of them that they're not selling. They just have to like repurpose them for something else.
Yeah. I don't know. It's actually been surprisingly popular, but I still don't know who the hell's buying it.
I still have an unopened Kinect.
Why do you have a Kinect?
It was a gift, and I am very thankful that
A gift from Shellblade to himself.
No. I'm very thankful that I have family members who are affluent enough to provide
So
me with
Shellblade.
such gifts, but I just cannot bring myself to play it.
Well, you have
I
the
mean,
best
I
excuse in the world to go play Star Wars Kinect now, so...
Oh no!
Oh,
it's
dear
just
God,
I don't want
Kevin.
to. It comes with a game, right? Maybe one day at a party I'll bust it out, but it seems like every time I have a party, everyone says, "Hey man, bust out Smash Bros." And
So
I probably have a lot more fun with Smash Brothers than I do with Kinect.
So you have a sealed Kinect like box,
Yes.
unopened,
Mm-hmm.
with a receipt.
No receipt.
No receipt. When was it given to you?
Oh crap! When was the Kinect released?
Well, if you have to
Like
question
2010.
yourself, it's
2010.
it's obviously much too late.
Well, no,
And I got
he
it.
could still
I got
resell
it.
it.
I got it in 2010.
I mean, if he wanted to, he could resell it to someone else, but...
I'm just saying, like, you just have it. I mean,
Would you like it? I'll mail it to you.
No.
I don't think
Kenny
you can give it
wanted-
away.
Kenny needs to play his Dance Central.
No, I need to play Halo 4 on, like, Xbox, like, Kinect.
You need to play Mass Effect 3 with the voice controls.
Oh, Jesus. I don't even have Mass Effect 3 anymore.
Oh, you got rid of it?
Yeah.
Smart move.
Good.
That game pissed me off so much, but that's beside the
well,
point.
Good. I think I actually enjoyed the point where Morden is on the ship. From that
Stop
point
talking
to-
about this fucking game. Let's
Oh.
go on talk about something. Wait. No.
I don't know if you want to, Kenny, because the
No,
only
we
topics,
don't.
the only
No,
topics
no,
about
no,
are about
no.
Nintendo.
No.
It hasn't
No.
been the
Keep
subject
talking
of
about Mass Effect.
conversation.
Keep talking about Mass Effect.
It hasn't even been the subject of the conversation for very long. It's under a minute right now.
Shit.
I have nothing
just
to add, so...
I mean, everything that's been said that needs to be said about this game has been said at this point. Its ending is basically, you know how all your high school teachers, whenever you read Huck Finn, they said that the ending sucks and it ruins everything that came before it? That is Mass Effect 3's ending.
I never read
It's the
Huck
video
Finn.
game version of Huck Finn.
I never read Huck Finn.
Oh, well, okay, then you're a book plebe.
We had to read To Kill a Mockingbird in high school.
I vaguely
Read both.
I vaguely remember it.
I
know
think I
read
can
it.
appreciate Huck Finn more because Huck Finn didn't have me spending like $60 every like 2 years.
Okay, now this is what this boils down to. Do we keep talking about fucking Huck Finn, or do we move on to fucking Pokemon? Now,
Well,
choices. What? I don't even know.
I mean, if you want to do the segue for me, Kenny.
well,
Well, I
Kenny,
apparently just did.
for
I-
Pokemon.
It gives me a time to go take a piss and grab something to drink.
Go ahead. We'll wait for you.
Just fucking start it. God.
So yeah, there are new Pokemon games coming out this fall. While Kenny takes a break, we'll discuss Pokemon X and Pokemon Y.
It's gonna
Why
be
not just
a
Pokemon Y?
Because
Yes, Pokemon Y.
it's the letter Y, Kenny, not Tony Kornheiser.
Shouldn't you be shitting?
I implied
That
I
is
need
the
to take
question
a
of the
piss.
day.
I'm not taking a dump.
You can if you want. You got time.
Do you want me to come to your house and put a Cleveland steamer on your chest?
Well, that'd be pretty hot.
Yes, it would.
The body is pretty warm, so.
Jesus Christ.
It's a little nippy out, actually. Should I
Fuck
shave
you,
my
you're not
chest
buried under
before-
snow.
I just said it was
Ass
nippy,
weather.
okay? I said it was nippy.
You're complaining about it being nippy. We're buried under snow.
I'm not complaining. I'm saying just it's a little nippy. So if you're just gonna like drop trow here, you might not be totally comfortable.
Well, I'm sure you would be doing that, so.
So how much snow is there, Steve?
Not a lot here, like, I don't know, a couple inches.
Uh,
Not like DL, who's going to be under a mountain of snow by the end of tomorrow.
yeah, for DL, there's snow way out.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
That's my
Like,
favorite
Mule-
Pokemon episode.
Mule, you're like fucking... Mule, you're like the equivalent of, like, Barbara and her fucking puns on, like, Rooster Teeth. Seriously. So bad. God, continue with your Pokemon talk.
So Pokemon.
Oh my god.
Yes. Who's excited for Generation 6?
I am looking forward to it. I wouldn't say I'm excited. Because I mean, I'm assuming we're not going to get a lot of new Pokemon. I'm also assuming that a good portion of those Pokemon are going to be babies and evolutions to previous ones.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get a lot of babies, but I have no problems with, like, evolutions of old Pokemon. Like, that's a great thing.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't really have that much of a problem. I would prefer more new Pokemon to that, because, I mean, if you look at Generation 4, if you look at your Pokemon selection, just in Diamond and Pearl, it was really crappy.
No, I disagree. And, like, I don't think it's fair to discount, like, the new evolutions as not new Pokemon.
No, I'm talking about in-game use only, like from the time you start to the time you get to the Elite Four. You have
you
craft
want
selection.
like you want more Pokemon that you come across in the wild to be new, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You know,
And-
my only hope is that the Pokemon that you get in the wild don't all suck. Because, like, that was half the issue in Gen 5. Like,
I'll say this. I'll say
Whoa,
this. Like,
whoa,
nope.
whoa.
What?
Hold on a second.
like in Gen
Dingus
5...
over here said
Gen
that
5
a lot
had
of the
good
Pokemon...
selection.
Yeah,
No,
it had
the-
a really good selection.
The issue is that in Gen 5, like, all the good Pokemon, like, all the useful ones, were kept until the, like, not, they weren't out in the wild until the very end. So, for half the quest, you're basically using the same few Pokemon.
I would say Gen 5's problem is that all the good ones are in the desert. You can just get all the good ones right there and move forward.
That's kind of a problem with any game, Mule, 'cause they can't give you the powerful ones early.
Well, no, the issue is that they give you awful ones for half the
I don't
game.
know about that. They were useful.
But right before the third gym, you can catch like all the best ones. You can get Darumaka, Scraggy, Sigilyph, and Sandile. You can get all four of those, and even probably a Drillbur as well. Those things all are absolute destructions, like destruction trains.
Okay, that's 5 Pokemon. Now, how about the rest of the Pokemon in the region?
Okay, well, you can get a Petilil in the forest, and if you're not using Snivy, why would you pick Snivy, by the way? 'Cause that thing has to be the worst freaking starter ever.
It's not as bad as Emboar.
Because see, all those Gen 5 starters are really bad because starters are supposed
Talking
to be
shit
designed...
about water.
Yes, I am, as a matter of fact. He's probably the most useful out of them, but still. Because...
All the Gen 5 starters are just worse versions of previous starters.
I don't know
Exactly.
about
The
that.
starters are designed to be reliable fallbacks for in-game use offensively.
There's still that, though.
No, Emboar was
but
totally useless.
He had the power, right? And they kind of gave him a little bit extra bulk, but at the same time,
He
they
had
still
the
gave him...
power, but he had no speed, and his defenses were on par with Spinda.
Yeah, it was really... And then you have Snivy, who would have been a neat tank, but one, he's a grass type, and two, he fails at being a tank even worse than Meganium, because at least Meganium had some tank moves.
And the one good thing about Snivy is an ability that he doesn't even have yet.
Yeah, he still doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Well,
And then Oshawott just a worse version of pretty much every water starter.
well, do you think?
But it gets
Well,
Megahorn, which is...
Do you think, from what we've seen, do the Gen 6 starters look better?
In terms of
I'm not
appearance-
really feeling them so far.
Ooh, I really like
I like-
Chespin.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pick Chespin too.
My nigga. Okay.
I really don't like the other ones, so
I'm hoping they're all dual types.
I'm hoping
Because-
it's the rumor that their secondary types are dark fighting and what was the other one? Psychic? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't-
hoping Chespin's psychic. I mean, sorry, fighting. 'Cause
I
he
hope we
looks
don't
like
have a
fire.
4th repeat of firefighting.
As long as there's no
Fuck, no.
firefighting, yes.
No, please, no more firefighting.
But like, just to go back to that previous thing, I want there to be evolutions of older Pokemon because there are still a lot of old Pokemon that need to be viable, like competitively.
Oh, another thing I really want, I want the region to be better than Gen 5's region in terms of progression.
Well,
Like,
Gen
Gen
5's
5
region was a
that.
straight line.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like,
Eh.
Gen 4, you actually had to explore. It felt like you're actually...
Exploration.
Not to the extent of Gen 4, though, which really felt like a step backwards. When
mean
Gen
Gen
5 was
5?
basically... Yeah. Because it was just like, let's go in a straight line for the entire region. Like, Black and White 2 helped that out a bit. It's like they had more areas to explore. But like it was still somewhat of a step back from what was offered in Gen 4. So,
Even
Oh,
Victory
still-
Road felt like a straight line.
yeah. At least it's better than Gen 3.
That goes without saying.
Well, yeah.
Do you guys like to switch to 3D models from sprites or?
Hmm. It's kind of weird. Like, I like the idea, but I'm just see like I need to
The
see more. Of,
execution?
yeah, I need to see more of like what they're going for.
I
We've seen-
think... Oh,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead. No, go ahead.
We've only seen about a minute so far, and all that is like work in progress stuff. So it's like we can't really judge it yet. I think. But I like-
Oh, dang it. Go ahead.
But I
no.
like the idea of it. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, yes. Awesome. My turn to speak. I get the stick. I think I like how the battles look. I think those look really neat. I think the Pokemon models look good. But then I see the human models, and they look like they're from a totally different game. And the overworld, because they look so stiff and lifeless and flat by comparison to the Pokemon models.
Yeah, you're kind of right about that. I think they're probably just gonna reuse the Pokemon models that were in the Pokédex, which were really good, by the way. So I don't really mind it. I like sprites. I really like sprites, but I think the models will work better for the fact that it's on the 3DS.
3D, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the ones on the 3D Pokédex, they were a little bit glossier than what we're seeing
Yeah.
right now with this current trailer.
That could be good too, because you don't want to look too fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like broader lines for the Pokemon.
Like they're actually cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's still definitely, as I think Mule said, a work in progress. So, I definitely like the direction they're going with it. They have to at this point. They got to do something new. So I think,
Wow, yeah.
There's something else that we need in Gen 6.
what's that?
A dark gym.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we still haven't gotten that.
We got enough dark types. There's no excuse now. And they're having the old Pokemon in the game too, so there's no excuse.
And for the love of God, please, okay, I know this is wishful thinking on my part, because I know it's not going to be, but I really hope the Elite Four does not have any sort of type specialist. I hope the Elite Four has something else, like if they're stat specialists or if they're weather trainers, just do something different. I don't want
Weather trainers.
Yeah, weather trainer.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
It would.
Like,
but
actually-
let's just have a metagame Elite Four.
Make
That'd
them
be
feel
cool. I'd be
different
fine
from
with
the
that.
gym leaders, you know?
So something more like Blue, like a team like that.
Yeah.
So
Or Cynthia. But
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's sick of people mentioning Cynthia, so...
well, she
Okay.
is the best champion. So
Just
She made
to,
Funk break his DS.
just to say one thing
yes, Kenny.
in this conversation. Apparently, like, I guess as I've heard and you guys were talking about as I came back, they're making your fight scenes 3D or whatever in your games or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that cell shaded?
No.
Oh.
I don't know.
Again,
Where's
kind of broad lines. Looks very cartoony, not cell shaded though.
Oh, so it's kind of like animated anime sort of.
It's supposed to look more like anime, I
It's
guess.
supposed to look more like the show rather
Kind
than
of.
just like some sprite stuff.
Even if you look at the game's artwork, it's kind of at that in-between point. Where it's not really, it doesn't really have that stereotypical anime look, but it's definitely very influenced by it.
Why have they stuck with that aspect for so long?
What aspect?
It's a very distinct style.
The sprite, like the sprite crap, like seriously.
It's easier and
Because Game
Yeah.
Freak's lazy
Yeah,
as
it's
fuck.
easier. So you
That's
have to be
why.
lazy.
yeah,
Really?
it's that and the fact that they haven't really had a system yet that could make it look good if you went to something else. 'Cause it looked like shit on the DS if they had done that. Because the DS
Yeah.
didn't do 3D very well.
So we're talking strictly from a handheld stick,
Yes.
Yeah,
standpoint. Okay.
they've had 3D Pokemon games on like the consoles, but like
But-
nothing big.
Okay.
They don't want to do that because it works better on handheld. So I'm not saying like they should do a big 3D Pokemon game on a console one of these days.
What, kind of like Pokemon Snap 2?
Well, they could do that, but
I would
I'm
like
sorry.
that as a downloadable
I
title.
had to say it.
I'd like another
Yeah.
Pokemon Coliseum.
yeah, not
Yeah,
exactly like it, but
Well, see, lots of people hate Pokemon Coliseum because it limits your selection of Pokemon a lot.
Yeah.
But I didn't really mind that because I mean,
The region
don't
was
really-
interesting.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's not much to explore in the region. It's just cities
Yeah.
yeah.
and
it's
and
interesting.
places to
City.
explore. But I mean, at the same time, there's not really much variety when you actually play through the game anytime, right? You have the good Pokemon and then the Pokemon you ignore, right?
That's
Yeah.
actually my
I think-
issue with Gen 5, oddly enough.
And I think Coliseum, I think, okay, I don't know why that was there. For those of
You
What?
paused. You paused. And I was just
Pause.
had to interject.
Okay,
Go ahead.
all right. So with Coliseum, they gave you enough of a selection to let you know what's good and what you should use. I mean, I used a fucking Plusle in my party for Coliseum,
Terrible.
and I had fun with it, though.
Well, I can't talk. I wanted to play through Gold, and I used Unknown, so
Hmm
That's something.
I challenged myself.
We need an unknown evolution.
We
Plus-
really do.
Plus, with other RPGs, they give you a small party selection.
That's
So
why
if you treat it,
Pokemon's so
if you look at it from that perspective, like Pokemon just trying to go for a more traditional RPG perspective,
Actually,
that's kind of interesting.
all the unknown needs is to be able to use multiple kinds of hidden power at once.
its stats are still shit though.
Yeah.
They need to get rid of IVs.
Why? Oh yeah, IVs, yeah.
Completely get rid of IVs.
Yeah,
IVs are pretty bad.
like it's one of those weird things where like I understand why they do it and why they added natures and all that stuff. They want to make Pokemon as varied as possible, but in the end, it's all people just trying to get the best stats anyways. So
Yeah.
I don't really know how you counter that.
Like, natures are fine to have, but like, IVs are just awful.
Speaking of people ignoring your game mechanics, how about
Oh.
that new Fire Emblem? Is that a
Um,
good segue? Did I do good?
I've only played the demo, so I don't
You're
know.
talking about
Okay,
you're
but-
talking about Pokemon, for God's sake.
Well, now we're
We've
talking
been talking
about
about Pokemon for a while, so we need to switch it up.
Now we're talking about Pokemon with waifus.
Yes,
Jesus
precisely.
Christ.
Do you want
Well,
to say
that's
something about
probably-
the game, Shellblade?
Well, I kind of did, yeah. Because
Is it good?
I haven't played it yet, so I was wondering if you guys had.
I played the demo.
I think I'm definitely gonna buy it, and because
You know what?
it's a lot of fun. And what I wanted to say is that with Fire Emblem, the hook of Fire Emblem is that when your party members die, they die permanently, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes. So what happens when people lose a party member is that they just rage quit the game, and then they start the fight over again. So I say,
Yep.
what's the point of even having that game mechanic if you're just going to ignore it like that? You got to deal with your failures and move forward.
No.
Well, that's why I like the new one, because it has like a casual mode where it
For
doesn't
people who
implement
suck,
that.
like me.
Yeah, and that's why I was actually kind of interested
This
in it.
is a no.
Because, like, I hate permadeath. I hate losing characters. I don't want to do that. But at least they have the option for people who love that mechanic. And I've never played a Fire Emblem game before, and that's probably part of the reason why, because I hate permadeath. But I played the demo, and I actually enjoyed it. And if I had the money, I'd probably buy it. So, yeah, it actually is. That seems like a pretty good game. But
Also, you can fuck anything.
apparently, that's also a plus.
Well, that's kind of the... That is the standard for things, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the new standard.
Well,
Having a dating sim aspect to your games.
hey, I'm all for that. I love the Dead or Alive volleyball game, so
That was actually a fun game.
it was fun.
So does Michael
I've never
Jones.
played a single Dead or Alive volleyball game or Dead or
It actually
I've never
had pretty
even
good
played Dead or
volleyball.
Alive.
Well, let's throw Dead or Alive out for a second. I want to segue back to Fire Emblem. Because
Okay.
there was a Nintendo announcement stream a little while ago, and one of the games they announced was Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. Do you have an opinion on that, Shellblade?
I have opinions on just about everything.
Well, that's
So-
what we're here for, to hear them.
What's your
I
opinion
haven't
on...
played. That's something we should discuss with more friends around and probably in person with all of us sitting on couches, and he probably doesn't know we're in the room until he walks.
Sonic Board video podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've
as you were saying-
only had limited experiences with both of those franchises, but now Shin Megami Tensei is very Pokemon-esque, and Pokemon recently had a strategy or turn-based strategy game released in Pokemon Conquest. So it could end up being a little bit like that, only with Fire Emblem, because that Pokemon game was Pokemon Cross. What is it called? Nobunaga's
Nobunaga's Ambition.
Yeah, Nobunaga, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Nobunaga's Ambition, and so this is very similar to that. So they're clearly trying to strike gold again with that.
And just as ambitious.
Well,
Should we
that's one thing Nintendo mentioned that they want to do is have more crossovers with other companies. They want to give other people a chance to branch out like this. So that's a pretty. I don't really have any opinion on the game. I have no interest in it. But I think it's a cool thing that I hope they do with other franchises. Now, there was a couple other games they announced too.
Where's my Halo Mario crossover?
Shut up, Mule.
At least that would get Kenny interested in it.
No,
Maybe.
it wouldn't. It would piss me off.
And Ken would love every minute.
Anyways, some of the other games they announced, the Yarn Yoshi game. Either of you guys have?
If only Frank was here.
No, that looks like a lot of fun. Looks good for the kids. Looks good for your girlfriend.
What girlfriend?
That feel with no GF.
Thanks. Appreciate
We're
it.
all in the same
Having
boat, Kenny. so don't
feelings.
worry about it.
I hope they do a whole Yarn franchise now. They give a bunch of different characters the Yarn treatment.
Seems to be
I
going
hope
that
this
way.
one's actually fun.
Like, this will be Nintendo's version of Legoing franchises.
Hold up, Mule. Did you just imply that
doing-
Kirby's Epic Yarn wasn't fun?
It was kind of bland.
It
Good
was
for your
fun.
kids, good for your girlfriend, you know.
Well, I guess you're more excited for Wind Waker HD.
Yep. Should be good.
Shellblade's not?
Are they gonna add stuff, or is it just gonna be Bloom Wind Waker?
Oh, I don't know. No one knows yet.
I'm gonna
I
assume
don't,
Blue Wicker.
I don't think they'll add too much because I'm pretty sure the only reason they're doing this is to have another game on their schedule because they don't have too much announced right now that's coming out this year. So
Yeah.
I guess they want a Zelda game this year, so that's what they're doing. I don't expect too much added to it, but Wind Waker is the only Zelda game I ever feel like playing. So
Really?
yeah,
Despite
I like
side quest.
yeah. It's just that it's the sailing aspect. That's what I really love about that game. It's why I could play it like over and over. It's of all the Zelda games, like even though I like Ocarina and Twilight Princess more, I like the fact that Wind Waker is the one that feels most like an adventure, like where you can like go anywhere and do anything. Even though there's not a lot necessarily to see, because the ocean's kind of empty, I like that aspect of it.
So much to do, not a lot to see.
Don't get that fucking song stuck in your head, please.
What do you think of the visual upgrade then?
I like it. I think it looks good.
Mm-hmm. I think it looks a little less timeless though, because it doesn't have that same sort of color palette that Wind Waker that the original had.
Kind
And
of.
I don't think it's like years from now. I still think that original Wind Waker is still gonna look great. I'm not sure how this is gonna look though.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but the original Wind Waker is still always going to be there. I'd rather them do something different, even if it's not necessarily better. I'd rather them make this look different for the sake of it. I like that there's a bit more detail in it. Like, one of my complaints about Wind Waker is that I hated... The only thing I didn't like about sailing was that the ocean was really bland. It was just one big sheet of blue. There was no detail. There was very little waves, except for like a storm.
blue.
It looked good, but I like that if you look in the screens for the new Wind Waker, the ocean has a bit more detail. So that was one of the things I noticed and I liked about it. Like, people are complaining about the bloom. I don't really care. I don't think it's that bad. But I don't know.
Definitely not nearly as bad as Halo 3, which is King of Bloom.
Kenny's taking a shot at your franchise. It's not even paying attention.
Are you talking shit on my waifu?
Halo 3's the King of Bloom. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Did either... Well, I don't... Kenny didn't, but did either of you guys play Xenoblade?
Nope.
Totally played it. Played the shit out of it.
People play the Wii still?
Like, I heard it's really good, but
Yeah.
I just haven't had the
I
time.
didn't really have any interest, but I'm totally digging that sequel, quote-unquote, they announced.
Yeah, that looks really neat.
That looks incredible.
Yeah,
I really want to play that.
That was beautiful to look at. I would probably bought Xenoblade if actually I probably should have just bought Xenoblade. Wow, I feel kind of
You
bad.
can still buy it. It's still there.
Yeah.
There's no ban on used game sales yet.
You know what? I think I'll do that.
You know what? It's hard to find though. Like
Is it?
It's like if you're looking at paying over $100 to get a copy of it.
Wasn't it a GameStop exclusive? Like,
Yeah, GameStop exclusive, and I don't think they sell new copies anymore. So
What?
yeah, it's hard to find.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's this year's Electroplankton.
so that's the thing. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of JRPGs, so that's kind of why I passed it over. But
Yeah, them GRPGs.
Oh, I hope a Tales game comes out on Wii U because I have been Tales deprived for way too long. Last time I played a Tales game was Vesperia on 360. That was years ago though.
So
That was a great game.
Last time I played that game, I had twin tails.
Last time I
that
played
is
that game,
horrible, Kenny.
Kenny had a job at a flying company.
Oh my god. Yeah.
You know what? You know what? We're getting close to the end here, so I have one last.
We are?
Yeah, we've been for like an hour and 5 minutes now, so
You went through that entire fucking list.
I
seriously?
did, except for the very last thing on the list, which is Vivid Red Operation.
No, Steve.
What?
No,
What?
we're not talking.
We're
about
having
that.
this. We're having.
No, we're not. I'm gonna leave.
Nope. You gotta hear that yellow is better than green.
Green is better than yellow
What
as
is-
of now.
What
As
are
of
you
now.
talking
Well,
about?
first your fucking ass said it was blue. Then you're like,
But
oh
it
no,
was.
it's green. No, oh no, it's yellow now.
I don't
Because
she's
understand the
powerful.
topic of conversation.
This is bullshit.
No, shut
done.
the fuck
No.
up, Kenny.
We're
Like-
done.
Okay.
No, end it.
Shellblade.
Roll the end credits.
Yes?
Fuck.
Shellblade,
Yes?
answer this question once again. What is your favorite color?
It's green.
Well, there we
Yes.
go.
Blue. Well, my favorite color is blue, but in this case, blue is not the best, and yeah, that's the way
Blue
it
was
goes.
the best when it was just blue and green. Now that yellow's been introduced, yellow is the best.
No, you're wrong.
What the
Wrong.
fuck are we talking about?
You know, I don't even know. But
And that's probably the best place to end it.
Why would you bring that up, Steve?
Because you told me to.
No,
Because we
I
have
was
to
joking. Why
Well,
would you
I don't
do
care.
that?
It was on the list we talked about.
Stop the recording!
You're a fucking asshole. Serious. Oh my god.
Get mad.
I'm drinking my sake. Are we done?
Well, yes, while you're doing that, say goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
See you guys. Hope
See
you
you guys.
enjoyed it.
Viewers.